What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today I'm going to be talking about Halo Wars 2, the beta we got back in July, and why the game looks awesome. But hold on, it's not all sunshine and daisies. There's a couple things about Halo Wars 2 that are very concerning to me, but I'll get to that when the time comes. So let's talk about the good stuff. If you didn't get a chance to play the Halo Wars 2 beta, then you missed out, my friend. The game was on the message of the day for Halo 5, and 343 added an incentive to play it by giving out gold packs, which, even though I don't like the current rec system, I thought was pretty cool. Surprisingly, the beta worked damn near perfectly, aside from some graphical issues and problems with starting the game. It was very polished and functional, something that I'm quite honestly surprised by in the current generation of Halo games. The beta offered two different maps and game modes, Domination and Deathmatch, and it was available for about a week and a half. During this time, I extensively played as the Covenant, and goddamn was it a lot of fun. If you're into real-time strategy games or Halo in general, then Halo Wars 2 will probably be a very nice breath of fresh air, especially for such a dry market that is the console real-time strategy game. I'm excited to see what other game modes, maps, and features this game has to offer upon release. I'd say the beta did a very good job of getting me hyped up for this game. Simply put, Halo Wars 2 looks epic. The battles, the destruction, the bases, the units and abilities, pretty much everything in the beta looked great, aside from a few units that really didn't look too good. Graphically, the game looks pretty sweet, and holy crap, when I saw that Spartan with the mix of the new and old art styles, I and probably every other Halo fan lost their shit. I hope that Halo Wars 2 is able to combine the best of both art styles and make Halo fans equally happy with how things look. And if the trailers are any indication of what the in-game cutscenes will look like, this game is going to be pretty nice on the eyes. Now onto the gameplay. As I said earlier, the console RTS market is pretty much non-existent, and there's a good reason for that. Usually with so many units, structures, and things to manage, using anything but a keyboard and mouse puts you at a severe disadvantage, as well as being hard to control. Real-time strategy games are basically made to be played on the computer. Despite all of that, Halo Wars 1 and the Halo Wars 2 beta play very well for what they are. With the Xbox One controller, it seems to work pretty dang well. At least from my experience, the control scheme allowed me to do pretty much everything I wanted to do. And with the Halo brand, they can offer a really fun blend of gameplay, strategy, and Covenant versus UNSC battles in Halo Wars 2. Overall, the game felt pretty balanced, except for a few strategies and abilities that seemed way too overpowered. I'm looking at you, jump pack brutes. Nothing that'll hopefully get fixed by the time the game launches. It seems that Creative Assembly and 343 are doing everything they can to make sure this game is as good and balanced as possible. Now, the new resource system is something I think works well as an improvement upon Halo Wars 1, and the map designs are pretty nice and expansive, which really works well for the large-scale battles that Halo Wars 2 will offer. And there are also a lot of little control points throughout the map that'll give you vision, protection, or faster resource gathering. It really makes for a very interactive map. What I do hope is that there are more neutral enemies like Sentinels, maybe rogue Covenant forces, or something new entirely. I hope they're able to create these big control points and force you to battle these tough neutral enemies in order to capture them, so that there's a nice balance of risk and reward. Now, with what we know so far about the story, some old characters will be returning in this game, and we'll also see the return of the Brutes in a new, mysterious faction called the Banished. The original Halo Wars had a pretty decent story as well, and I'm sure most people are excited to see what Halo Wars 2 has to offer. Personally, I'd love if this game had some sort of codex system, where you can find entries on different characters, events, species, factions, locations, etc., and be able to read about them in-game. This is something that's never been done in a Halo game, and I think would work really well in Halo Wars 2, in addition to making the story and Halo universe more accessible, provide more insight into the characters, and make it easier for people to reconnect with the game since Halo Wars 1. One thing that has me a little bit bummed out is that it looks like we'll only be able to play as the UNSC and the Covenant. I was kind of disappointed that we could only play as two factions in Halo Wars 1, and it looks like the same will be true for Halo Wars 2. This is unfortunate because I think a third faction, whether it be the Flood, Prometheans, or something else, would have added another layer of depth to the gameplay. So I hope they can make up for it with a very diverse set of strategies within these two factions. Now the sound design, I didn't particularly take much note of. A lot of the sound effects were decent or not really there all the way. Some of the voice acting was actually pretty bad, and I don't remember hearing any soundtracks aside from the main menu one, which was pretty good. Overall, the sound design was decent, but I hope it's improved when the game actually launches. Overall, Halo Wars 2 looks very promising. It looks like this could be the start of the glorious return of Halo. An older, beloved Halo game is getting a sequel after a few years, similar to the way StarCraft got a sequel like 20 years later. There's quite a bit of hype around this game, and for good reason. So how could anyone have a problem with Halo Wars 2? Well, the answer makes me a little bit worried, and I'm going to tell you why. As you might already know, Halo Wars 2 will have a standard edition for $60 and an ultimate edition for $80. This screenshot taken from Microsoft.com tells us what will come with the purchase of the ultimate edition. Players will receive the Season Pass, and in this Season Pass are new leaders, new units, and some other things. Now, I'm not opposed to paid DLC. Sometimes I prefer it, as long as it doesn't jeopardize the design of the game. But it looks like that might be the case with this DLC. Now, if you played any real-time strategy game, then you know the most important aspect of multiplayer is proper balance. And of course, good voice acting.
You want a piece of me, boy? Somebody call for an exterminator? Da 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 down, da 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 down.
And if players who spent more money on the game get access to more leaders, more units, and more strategies, this poses a few very serious problems. 1. By spending $20 more than the average Joe, you'll have more options and strategies to fight your opponent. This isn't exactly pay to win, but it could easily upset the balance of the game, and it is more a method of pay to access. 2nd, will the population of this game be separated on day one into the haves and have-nots? If so, then this brings up many of the problems people had with the paid DLC plan and map packs for the previous Halo games. And if they don't split the population, then the people that bought the Ultimate Edition will have an advantage over the people that didn't. Again, balancing is the most important part of any real-time strategy game. And by giving people who spend more money more options to fight their opponents, the game becomes unbalanced. 3rd, buying the Ultimate Edition for a measly $20 more is much more worth it than the $60 purchase. You get early access, the Seasons Pass, expanded single player with more missions, more units, more leaders, and the Halo Wars Definitive Edition, which is a remastered version of the original game, and it includes all the DLC, as well as allowing you to play it on Xbox One and Windows 10. Now, this business practice has me a bit worried, because I'm not a big fan of having a system where someone can buy a better version of a game and have more options within that game to beat their opponents. So basically, Microsoft has given us plenty of reasons to buy the Ultimate Edition over the Standard. I'm not complaining about the content of the Ultimate Edition. To me, it sounds really awesome. I'm just kind of concerned about what this means for the game and balance as a whole, and if the community will be split, how big will that split be? Another small thing that bugs me is that by pre-ordering the digital copy of the standard Halo Wars 2, you'll be able to play it on Xbox One and Windows 10, but not if you buy the physical disc? This is upsetting to me because I'm a collector, and I like seeing all of my games with their cases and artwork. I prefer buying physical copies, and I don't want to feel left out just because I'm not buying digital. What's also interesting is that Halo Wars 2 is a part of the Xbox Play Anywhere games, which looks like a group of games that will be playable on both Windows 10 and Xbox One. This is nice because they'll be able to appeal to a wider audience and give players two ways to play their games. And I will say the opportunity to play these games on PC and the Xbox One will be a pretty awesome experience. Though I hope they don't have crossplay because again, that would upset the balance, as PC users using a mouse and keyboard will have a significant advantage over console players using a controller. All of my complaints about Halo Wars 2 are about the business side of things. How they seem to be pushing the Ultimate Edition over the Standard Edition, and how it appears that they might be jeopardizing the balance of the game in an effort to make some more money. And I'm not saying these things will make Halo Wars 2 a terrible game that'll be unplayable and bleh. I'm just saying for me, it's causing me to raise a few eyebrows. Yes, I have 3 of them. It's got me a little bit spooked about how this is all going to work properly with the 2 editions of the games. But I hope that the concerns I have now disappear when the game comes out and it is in people's hands. Overall, Halo Wars 2 looks to be a very promising game, with pretty much everything going for it. Story, awesome cutscenes, great graphics, gameplay, strategies, a classic art style, and I really hope that when I get Halo Wars 2, that I can be happy with it, that it's functional, it feels complete and balanced, and that I don't feel the game has so many flaws that I feel motivated to make videos about them. Let's all hope that the road ahead is promising and filled with awesome new Halo experiences. So what do you think about Halo Wars 2? Are you hyped for it? Do you trust 343 Creative Assembly and Microsoft to deliver a solid new Halo game? Or are real-time strategies just not your thing? Will you be buying it just to experience the story? Let me know what you think. Post your comments down below, as always. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out my second channel, where I just posted a video containing 5 tips for beginning YouTubers. Alright everyone, that's all I've got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace!